The future of your neighborhood grocery store is in peril. Despite the recent surge in sales due to the pandemic, there are ominous signs that the American grocery industry is on the brink of collapse. With labor shortages, supply chain issues, and heavy debt loads, it's no surprise that many grocery stores are struggling to survive. In fact, insiders predict that 2023 will be the year that we see a record number of stores closing their doors for good. From major chains to independent mom-and-pop shops, no grocer is safe from the forces that are reshaping the industry. One of the examples we'll look at is Fresh and Easy, a British chain that entered the U.S. grocery market with hopes to compete with American retailers but is now on the brink of closure. The company's timing couldn't have been worse, as it entered the market during a time when the economy and real estate markets were already slowing down. This resulted in the company accumulating a staggering $1 billion in debt, with losses of about $22 million per month, according to court documents. Unfortunately, the company had to file for bankruptcy and has closed 12 locations across the country. Its parent company, Tesco, is now trying to sell 30 remaining stores in an attempt to salvage whatever it can. The once thriving grocery store is now clinging to life as a victim of poor timing and unfortunate circumstances. Another example is Save-A-Lot, a St. Louis-based discount grocery chain that has been struggling to stay afloat for a while. It has been trying to shift to a wholesale model over the past year due to the numerous store closings it has faced. As a result, it has sold off 300 of its locations to independent retailers, leaving many customers without nearby options. The pandemic only exacerbated Save-A-Lot's troubles, and the company is now facing the challenge of navigating the recession that is slowly setting in. Save-A-Lot's revitalization plan is intricate, and its success will determine its fate in the coming years. If the company fails to complete the plan, it risks facing another round of closures that could potentially end its operations. The current economic climate is not helping matters, and it remains to be seen whether Save-A-Lot can weather the storm. Fairway Market, known for its gourmet food and pack stores, has been experiencing financial difficulties for years before declaring bankruptcy for the first time in 2013. Even though it reappeared and became one of the most recognizable stores in the Manhattan region, the company's recent financial issues and crushing $174 million debt have caused it to go out of business. Only about 9 locations across 3 states have survived the downturn, with LED Fairway Market planning to file for bankruptcy a second time in 2020 and selling some of its locations to Village Supermarket, owner of ShopRite. The reality is that just because Fairway says it wants to continue operating does not mean it can, as recent history is full of examples of retailers who exit Chapter 11 only to quickly re-enter bankruptcy, many of which ended up liquidating and going out of business. Similarly, Shoppers, a grocery chain that once had locations in Providence, Rhode Island, has shut down many of its stores, leaving only 14 Shoppers stores in the Washington, D.C. and Baltimore regions. The chain's parent company, United Natural Foods, has made the decision to sell or shut down most of its stores as a way of permanently exiting the retail business. This decision could potentially leave customers in the affected regions with fewer options and limited access to affordable groceries. Piggly Wiggly, a historic grocery chain that pioneered the self-service shopping concept, has also encountered obstacles in recent times. The chain faced labor shortages in 2011, leading to the closure of some of its locations. In the first half of 2022, 3 additional Piggly Wiggly stores closed their doors, including ones in Florence, South Carolina, and Nashville, Tennessee, both of which had served their communities for decades. The closure of these stores has left many customers searching for alternative options for their grocery needs. Even established chains like Sprouts Farmers Market, often touted as Whole Foods' main rival, are struggling to keep up with their competitors. The company's stock has fallen by over 24% since the start of the year, losing approximately $1 billion in market capitalization since the previous year. To cope with its financial woes, the company has been forced to close down several underperforming locations, and more closures are expected in the upcoming quarters. Sam's Club, a membership-based retail warehouse chain, has also faced numerous challenges in recent years. The company had to close hundreds of stores due to the pandemic and nationwide demonstrations in 2020, leading to a significant decline in profits. In 2018, the company closed 63 stores without any prior warning, leaving many employees without jobs. The move came as a shock to both the employees and the general public. In the highly competitive retail industry, it is crucial for companies to stay ahead of the curve and adapt to changing consumer demands. The shift towards online grocery shopping has created a more competitive marketplace, where only the most efficient and adaptable companies can survive. This has resulted in many once thriving grocery chains being forced to restructure their operations to keep up with the changing times. Companies that are able to remain flexible and adapt to the changing marketplace will be able to survive in the long run. Lucky's Market, despite offering affordable food staples and a wide selection of products, could not escape the financial difficulties plaguing the industry. The closure of the majority of its stores and the loss of over 3,100 jobs is a stark reminder of the fragility of businesses in the grocery sector. Moreover, the closure of mom-and-pop shops is not just a loss for the community, but also leaves buyers with fewer alternatives, making them more vulnerable to sudden price hikes. As more grocery stores face financial difficulties, the situation is likely to get worse before it gets better. In fact, thousands of grocery stores may shut down over the next few years, which could lead to a full-blown crisis in the grocery sector. As mom and pop shops go out of business, we're forced to rely more heavily on corporate behemoths like Lucky's Market. But as these businesses struggle to stay afloat, buyers are left with fewer alternatives and are more vulnerable to sudden price hikes. This is a serious issue that could affect all of us as we rely heavily on grocery stores to supply us with the food and products we need. Stop & Shop, another major grocery store chain, has also announced the permanent closure of several underperforming stores, despite opposition from customers. And unfortunately, this trend is likely to continue. Thousands of grocery stores may shut down over the next few years, and inflation in the grocery store sector is here to stay. It's not all doom and gloom, though. While the challenges facing the grocery store industry are significant, there are also opportunities for innovation and growth. Some businesses are experimenting with new models like online grocery shopping and delivery to try to stay ahead of the curve. And as consumers, we can also play a role by supporting local businesses and being mindful of where we spend our grocery dollars. Ultimately, the future of the grocery store industry is uncertain. But one thing is clear, we all have a stake in its success. As consumers, we rely heavily on grocery stores to provide us with essential items, and the current economic climate is causing significant challenges for many businesses in the industry. It is important for us to support local and independent stores whenever possible, and to work together to find innovative solutions to keep these businesses afloat. We must also recognize the impact of our choices and purchasing power on the industry and consider ways to reduce waste, support sustainable practices, and promote fair labor conditions. By taking these steps, we can help ensure a strong and resilient future for the grocery store industry, which is essential for our communities and our daily lives. Thanks for joining us.